Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to take a look at Cinccino EX with Metang. This is an archetype that of course has been doing the rounds as it is, but personally I think the Meganium version is a bit better, but that's just me. So as per usual, in the description below there's going to be usual links. Double the deck list, which is also available to copy in the description below. There's the games that we'll play, and of course the outro and what I think of the deck. So of course we are taking another look at Cinccino EX. This is a really cool card and I do like it as a, a concept and everything. And while of course we've covered this card before, but I'll keep it quick, we have the ability Smooth Coat. If any damage is done to this Pokemon by attacks, not effects of attacks, so bear that in mind, flip a coin. If heads, prevent that damage. Now, I was tempted to put some Mist Energy in this list, a bit like the Meganium version that I did, just so we can cover that effects of attacks basis, but to be honest, so far I've not really had to worry about it, and we have single prize attackers in this deck as well, so we at least have that option. And of course the attack for one colourless is Energize Slap for 40 times. This attack does 40 damage for each energy attached to this Pokemon. So if we have 8 energy on this Cinccino, we're doing 320 damage and we don't have to discard anything, which is pretty nice. Obviously, it is, a lot of resource investment because, well, we don't play Meganium to obviously, increase Grass Energy because we're not playing Grass Energy today, we're playing Metal Energy. However, we do have, some other forms of attackers in this deck. We, of course, have Metang to obviously help us power up things, but we're also playing one copy of the new Metagross. I think this should be a 2 count in this list, I'll be honest, but so far it's not really been necessary. But obviously, Metallic Hammer for 3 metal and a colourless does 150 plus, and we can discard 3 metal energy from the Pokemon and have this attack do 150 more damage. So Metagross could hit for 300 damage, which is really strong. And we also have the attack Bounce Back, which isn't too relevant, but can be useful if, we have to go, like, Metallic Hammer and Knockout, and the opponent Bedoos us. We can always use this against a Bedoo, so we can still take a prize card that way. Other than that, really, I've not really gone too in-depth with, other attackers. We do have Fez with its Cruel Arrow attack, which we can potentially use with its flipped script. And I also chucked in a Mega Mawile just so we have a little bit more, endgame sort of safety. Because obviously with 5 prizes taken, Gobble Down is doing 400 damage, so this just made sense to me. And even with 4 prizes taken, it's doing 320 damage, which is more than enough for what we need. And we also have the option of Huge Bite for 260, but of course if our opponent's active Pokemon has any damage counters on it, this attack's base damage is 30. I do think this list is worse than the Meganium version, but that's just my take on it. That's how I feel about it. So let's go to the deck list and let's have a proper look. And welcome to the deck list. This has been one of those Metang box decks that, you feel that it's worse than some other variants of Cinccino. And, I could be playing a second Genesect, but, I kind of want to lean into the Cinccino, so that's why there's only 1 in here. But it definitely could be a 2 count if you want to play a bit more safe. But I just feel like this deck, Metang with Cinccino, I don't think it's the right pairing. I think pairing Cinccino with Meganium and Yanmega just makes the most sense, because then obviously Yanmega can attack as a decent 2 prize attacker that can do 210 damage, but then you can just move the 3 Grass Energy, which would count for 6 for Meganium in play, and move it straight to Cinccino, and you're already doing 240 damage before you've even attached return to a Cinccino, which is pretty strong in itself. But other than that, really, there's not a huge amount going on in this deck list. It's pretty standard Metang box. So of course we have 4 Beldum, 4 Metang, 1 Metagross, 3 Minccino, 3 Cinccino, 1 Genesect, 1 Fez, 1 Mega Mawile. Then of course we have 4 Lillies, 4 Petrel to obviously find us our Precious Trolley, 2 Boss, 4 Team Rocket's Transceiver to help find our Petrels a bit easier, 2 Ultra Ball, 2 Energy Recycler, 1 Buddy-Buddy Poffin, 1 Special Red Card, 1 Precious Trolley as our A-Spec, 2 Air Balloon, 2 Team Rocket's Factory to obviously, give us a little bit of extra draw, which Metang box decks criminally lack, and then 17 Metal Energy. A lot of the time we're going to need quite a lot of energy on the Cinccino, so we have to play it at a high count. But personally, I'm not expecting this deck to do too great. Not just because of the one Genesect, that's not why I think it will. It's because to deal with most meta threats, you're going to need 8 to 9 Metal Energy on a singular Cinccino. And that means you'd have to burn double Recycler to do it, you know, like to recycle it if Cinccino goes down. Obviously, we do have Metagross to help out with this, but personally, I just don't think this is the right pairing. I think pairing Cinccino with a 3-2 Yan Mega line and a 2-2-2 Meganium line, I think that's just better. Because then you can play Forest of Vitality via Stadium. You're not clunking the deck up with as many grass, you know, Metal Energies as you are Grass Energies. Because, you know, I think in the list I played 10 Grass, I think, and it just felt fine. You know, you can divert these 17, well, this 17 to 10, so you're saving 7 spaces, which, you know, that's really good. Yeah, you'd still have to play Energy Recycler, but that's nothing to worry about. And of course, that also opens up the door for other grass attackers. Which, yeah, we are playing an extra couple of metal attackers like Genesect. Genesect's a really solid attacker at times. And of course, we do have the Mawile. But there isn't really anything else other than the Dialga, which would really help. But still, let's get in some games and see how we do. And welcome to our first game. We're paired up against someone in Teal Mask Ogopon rank. Obviously, this is the day after, I think it was the Dragapult Mega Frostlass video I did. I don't know which one I'm putting out first. So yeah, we only need one more win for Arceus, which is nice, and, you know, this is the sort of deck you probably would find in Arceus, to be brutally honest, but still. It's definitely an interesting archetype, like, it has, you know, the legs to do stuff, but, you know, I just don't think this is the right pairing, you know, when you've played multiple different variants of, you know, different decks. Ooh, the Mawile start, I don't like that. I don't like that, but I can at least Huge Bite, I guess. But obviously, he can just play around it if he wants to. I don't like starting the Mawile in this matchup. This is a pretty tough matchup, and starting the Mawile is definitely not what we want to do. But it looks like it's just a pass from our opponent, which is good. Well, we don't need to play that Transceiver. We can just play the Petrel out the gate. Let's have a look. And yep, Trolley's in there. Let's make sure the boys are in there. So we've got a Lillie's in the prize cards, we've got an Energy Recycler in hand, we've got 2 of them in hand, we've got a Beldum in the prize cards, we've prized 2 Metang, which is pretty rough, and we've got a Cinccino in the prize cards. That's going to be rough. So let's go for the Precious Trolley, we'll grab out 3 of these, 1 of you and 1 of you. And because I can, I'll attach the Mega Mawile and then I'll Metallic Signal just in case they hand disrupt. No, that sucks. Prize and 2 Metang. It shouldn't be a big deal, but, you know, we can go for Huge Bite and just start attacking, which is, you know, it's not the best option in the world. And of course, he has Candy Greninja just straight off the bat, which is insane. And he just has Raw Cyrano as well. I would normally have my window open today, but the wind is really bad. I don't know why. We've gone from having a heat wave a few weeks ago to, you know, now we have to deal with massive wind. And I can even see that some of the trees have been damaged outside. Like, you know, because some of the trees in my area are quite old. So, you know, it's that sort of thing. So I think what I'll do here is I'll just go for the knockout on this Froakie. So we'll do that. We'll Metal Maker. Okay, that's good. I'm going to attach the Minccino. Do I want to play this Petrel? I probably do, to be brutally honest. Let's see what we can get out with Petrel. I mean, I could just grab a boss for next turn if he tries to, like, retreat the Greninja away. I could just grab Team Rocket's Factory as well, just to bump his stadium and draw a couple of extra cards. I think that's fine. Before I do that, though, I'm going to Metallic Signal, just to make sure that there's nothing in the deck. And then we'll Team Rocket's Factory for 2. There's a boss for next turn. We'll just Huge Bite for the knockout. Obviously, we can use, you know, we can use Huge Bite. There's a Cinccino, nice. We can use Huge Bite to hit the Greninja, but then we'll only be doing 30 base damage after that. So we'd have to use Genesect to finish it off. Or, you know, a Cinccino. We can actually boss that Fez now, which would be pretty nice. We could take a couple of prize cards here. There's Buddy Poffin. I might go for the boss Fez, because we can deal with this later. I'm not too worried about it right now. But obviously we're going to need a lot of resource investment on our Cinccino. But hope we could just take some early prize cards and we should be okay. You know, we have the options in this matchup, so, you know, we're not exactly going to be losing this matchup at the moment. But obviously we do need to be very careful. So he's going to go Air Balloon and attach to the Greninja and the Lillies. His best bet is to just, you know, Surfing Beach into one of these two. He can, you know, Mortal Shuriken, which will definitely help him out later. But for now, I'm not too worried, to be really honest. See, I'm just thinking on the Genesect math, because, you know, with the -30 on its Protect Charge, even with... Okay, he's focusing down the Minccino. Interesting. Even with Protect Charge, this can still knock it out with a Mortal Shuriken onto the Genesect. So we need to consider that. But obviously with us having a Metang in the prize cards, we need to start just evolving stuff. But yeah, I think my turn here is like Boss Fez. Because then it means we just have to go through one Greninja or one Staryu. So we're going to evolve that before he gets any funny business. We'll attach here. We'll then Metal Maker. Nice. Get some more energies on the board. So we'll Metal Maker again. So we need 9 on the Cinccino to knock out that, which is fine. I'm going to play the Transceiver just so I can get this out of the deck. And then I'm going to boss the Fez. And Huge Bite. Because like I say, what that means is I can go in with, you know, I can go in with a Huge Bite swing and then finish up with Cinccino. So I'm fine with this. Like, I'm completely fine with this. And we also just got our Metang off the prizes, which is pretty nice. But yeah, this should be looking good. They've got a Zoroark draw engine. Interesting. I like the idea. Interesting idea. That's for sure. Mortal Shuriken. Well, I'm going to target this time. The Cinccino again. You are really wasting your time there, mate. There's Mega Starmie. I mean, if he attacks into Mega Mawile and I can get 9 energy on this, we just win. Well, in fact, we don't need we do need 9 actually, because Starmie's 330 and it's 40 times. He can't leave this Greninja in the active. He has to retreat it. He can't leave it in the active, because otherwise I'm just going to knock him out. Like, there's no sugarcoating it. But yeah, so recently I've been having a bit of, you know, like, stomach pains, obviously, because if you know what I have in my spare time, basically, I have a condition called IBS, which is a bowel it's called irritable bowel syndrome. So, like, some days I'll be completely fine, and some days I won't. Yesterday, when I was recording a couple of videos, I was completely fine. This morning, woke up and I felt like crap the whole time. He's going to go into the Greninja, or the other Greninja. He's got Mortal Shuriken, probably the Cinccino, because he seems to be focused on that right now. I don't know why. Like, yeah, you're playing around the ability, but that's the least of your worries right now. You have to retreat this Mega Greninja. And even then, I just need 3 energy on it to take a knockout here. He's going to Surfing Beach into the Starmie. You're 10 off, mate. I appreciate the effort, but you're 10 off. So, yeah. You're 10 off, unfortunately. I should have game here with Triple Metang. Because I can recycle these 2 energy we're going to take off the Mawile. So, that's fine. We should have game here. And no, he's going to hit one of the Metangs. We should have game here. All we need is, you know, like I say, we need 3 energy. And we've just top decked 1, so we only need 2 now. So, let's go you. We're going to recycle just to, you know, maximize the chance. Attach for turn. So then we'll Metal Maker. Like I say, we only need 9. We should be able to see 9. Metal Maker again. And yep, that's game. Excellent. Energize Slap for 360. I will admit, they did well trying to, like, play around the Cinccino's ability. I'll give them that. But you just spent too much time focusing it down. You could have cut off my Metang engine. Because as we saw there, we was whiffing on our metals a little bit. We could have potentially struggled to take that knockout there. But they're too busy, you know, Mortal Shuriken in the wrong targets as far as I'm concerned. So, I'll take the win. Anywho, let's go to game 2. And welcome back to game 2. That was a pretty good game there against Mega Greninja Box. Honestly, they really should have been focusing down the Metangs with the, you know, the Mortal Shurikens and stuff. They could have definitely put some real pressure on, but they just didn't bother, to be brutally honest. And, well, I'm not going to judge my opponent for that, because they may not have known that line, but I don't think we would have done it if we didn't have, and just raw trolley off the top. That's beautiful. I do like to see that. Looks like we're against a grass deck. Venusaur. How many are we going to need for that? We're going to need 10. We're going to need 10 Metal Energy on a Cinccino to take out a Venusaur. We shouldn't need to go, like, doing that, to be fair. So that's at least something. I do respect the name, though, Nerf. Obviously not the Jungie Box. I don't do that stuff, but that's the good stuff that you need to, you know, think about. But, no, I remember Nerf. It's a shame that that brand is pretty much non-existent these days. Like, there's a few, you know, Nerf guns lying about and stuff like that, but, you know, I remember the days when I had my collection of Nerf guns, when the last time I had a Nerf gun was when the Mega ones started coming out, which was a line of Nerf guns that had basically larger foam bullets, essentially. And I had one called the Centurion. So it was a really powerful gun, and I got hit in the knackers with it once, and it put me on the floor. It was that powerful. But yeah, it looks like we're against a Teal Mask Venusaur deck, which I'm happy to face this. I mean, it's going to be a bit tricky, because obviously we do want to go second, which is why I've selected second, because obviously we want to be doing this. But still, hopefully we can maybe get some Fez snipes in, which would be pretty nice. Bug catching set. But yeah, this archetype is just one of those where you're like, sure it can work, but, you know, you do tend to struggle into some matchups, because obviously, you know, Cinccino needs a lot to take out something like a Venusaur. We need 6 for an Ogerpon, 10 for a Venusaur, which is quite a lot of investment. He's going to attach to the Teal Mask. I think he's just preparing to mirror Leaf Shower early, which if he's got the Meganium line in hand, that's not a bad idea, and I can't fault him for that. Okay, let's take our first turn. So I'm going to Petrel first, just so I can thin the Team Rocket's factory. Then I'll play the trolley, because I had it in my hand. We'll grab 3 of you, 1 of you, and 1 of you. So that's that. We'll then thin with Genesect, because it makes sense. We have prized the Metagross and one of our Metangs, but I'm not too worried about that. So then we'll Team Rocket's factory for 2. Do I want to attach to Fez? Probably not. Probably not, because he might just knock it out. I'm going to pass. I'm not going to touch the Fez yet, because, you know, Fez is quite, you know, it's a good attacker in this matchup, because obviously we can snipe Chikorritas, we can snipe Bulbasaurs, but obviously if he gets his stadium down, he can just fart out his evolutions, so we need to be very careful. Plus, attaching here, not here, gives this 30 less damage, but given he's got the stadium in his hand, I think we've got trouble here. And a Lillie's. That's fine. We just got to hope he whiffs the Meganium, because if he gets Meganium, he can knock out his Fez, so let's see. There's Bug Catching. He's just obviously checking his hand, which, to be fair enough. You don't really see too much Venusaur right now, but given he's just grabbed a Bayleaf, I suspect he has Bayleaf Meganium. Which is a problem, but we will deal with it. No, he's just going to attach to the Teal Mask. Do you not have another one? Do you not have a Meganium? No. Okay, we could capitalize on that. We could capitalize on that. Okay, well, let's go for the Cinccino. Go Evolve. Evolve. And Evolve. I'll then Transceiver for a Petrel. I should have an Air Balloon in deck. I do, so that's one less attachment we need on the Fez. So Petrel for an Air Balloon. So we need 4 of the Metangs, which shouldn't be too difficult. Well, there's 2. Well, Metal Maker again. Well, that's just brilliant. I can save myself a turn attachment. So yeah, we'll just free retreat into Cinccino. Do I want to attach to anything else? I'll actually attach to the Fez because we could use it as an attacker later. I will just knock this Teal Mask out. Take 2 prize cards. I'll take it. And there's one of our Metangs at the prize cards plus one of our Minccinos. But yeah, I'm happy with this. And like I said, we can boss any sort of like 2 prizer he comes up with. If he starts like dropping a thingamabob, a Venusaur, we should be in good graces. Because like I say, we can just boss it and we should be able to hit 10 energy without much of an effort. I mean, I won't mind taking out the Meganium, but it's not my priority because, like I say, we could potentially take a hit with the Smooth Coat, so I'm not too worried. I'd rather focus on taking out his 2 prizes, so then it makes our prize map a bit easier. Because he has to put these in play for his Venusaur, so I'm happy to do so. Surprisingly, I've done these games so far with no caffeine in my system, and I'm playing decently. I mean, I've definitely done a misplay or 2 along the way, I know I have, but, you know, that's something I'll review in post, so to speak. And, well, before I can even take a swag of my Dr. Pepper, it looks like my opponent's just going to pass. So I'm just going to thin a Petrel out the deck and play this Transceiver, and I'm just going to boss the Teal Mask. I'm going to set up Fez to attack, though, just in case. So that's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to set up Fez so I can snipe anything. And then, yeah, Energize Slap for 240. I'm not bothered about these because, you know, they're not really a threat to me right now. So, I'm fine with that. And we just got Metagross off the prizes, which is really good. So again, I'm pretty happy with that. And if this Cinccino somehow goes down, we have Petrel for Recycler. So, you know, and because we're taking 4 prize cards, we can use Mawile now as one of our attackers. So, again, I'm not really worried here. It's looking pretty good for us. But, well, given they've just grabbed half the, well, 2/3 of the Venusaur line, pretty certain I know what's in their hand. So there's Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, where's the Mega? There it is. That's okay. That's completely fine. Solar Transfer, he can get it on a Chikorita to obviously retreat it. But if he's just leaving the Mega, I should be able to take game here. Because I only need 2 more energy. And yeah, we should have game here. So that's one of them. Obviously, I didn't really want to draw into that Metal Energy. So we need 3 off of these Metangs. There's 2. Come on, Metang. Come on. Good lads. That's it. That's 10. We can now boss that Venusaur and slap it in the face for 400 damage. You know what? I'm actually quite impressed with this variant. It's actually doing better than I thought it would, you know. I guess in a way, like, it depends on like how you look at things, but you know what? This is a pretty good variant. I've got to give it that. I didn't think it was going to be as good as the Meganium version, but I think I might have to take back my statement at the start of this video. Anywho, let's go to a game 3. And with that match, we actually got ourselves into Arceus League, so I've just claimed the rewards. I was going to show the rewards at the end of the video, but if you've already gotten to, you know, Master League and stuff, you kind of already know it, so I'm not going to bother. But no, this variant's been actually pretty fun to play. I didn't think it was going to be as good as I thought it was going to be. You know, because obviously it takes a lot more resources to get things going, but you know what? I'm pretty impressed with it. It's pretty strong. I'll give it that. Alright. Beldum start or Minccino start? I think we go Minccino start. What are we up against? Oh no! Oh no! It's Slowking. Oh no. And we're going second. Oh, this just feels horrible. Oh, we're so dead. There's no question about it. We are so dead. Like, we don't play Shaman because, you know, most Metang decks don't play Shaman. Like, you know, oh, that just feels so bad. We're gonna get Curum turn 2 and just cry. But well, let's not get bogged down, as the old Mr. Jeremy Clarkson says. Let's not get bogged down with that. Let's just see what we can do. Let me think. Well, grabbing Genesect's fine here. I think that's okay. Yeah, I think that's my board state, to be brutally honest. So then I'll Petrel, grab at Stadium, just so I can draw a few more cards. So we'll do that. Nice. So then we'll Metallic Signal. At least we've got all 4 Metangs this time. And I'm just going to attach the Minccino. Do I want to do Takedown? Sure. Technically, in fact, no, it doesn't make a difference with Cinccino math, but whatever. It's one less energy I need on the Minccino, so to speak. But yeah, if he has Raw, Slowking, Night, or Academy at Night, plus, you know, Dark Energy. Okay, that's one I've not expected. Don't tell me you've got Curum in your bloody hand. I'm not going to be a happy bunny if you do. If he does, I'm just going to be annoyed. Well, there's the Curum. So he had the bloody Curum in his hand. He's grabbing a Meowth. Okay. That's still not good, though, because, you know, he can grab a Lillie's here. Or if he wants, he could grab a Hilda, but, you know. Because Hilda would also do it, because obviously he can grab a Slowking. But yeah, if I see a Night Stretcher come out of his hand, we just lose, pretty much, because he's just going to take out all 3 Beldums. Ultra Ball. Come on, please just whiff on the Curum. I know you play a crap ton of recovery. But a man can dream, okay? A man can dream. Oh no. I think we're getting Curumed, folks. Do you have a Night Stretcher? Well, there's a Latias. And a Kang. Yep, there it is. We're getting Curumed. Great. I mean, on the positive note, he doesn't have a Boomerang energy on this Slowking, which would make things a little bit easier for him. But, I think we're about to lose all of our Beldums. Which, not a good thing, to say the least. I mean, he can knock out both Minccino as well. That is a line as well. But then I'll just attack with Genesect, you know. I have that line. He needs to make an important decision here. Does he focus on the energy acceleration or the attackers? Let's find out. Because, you know, he could take out all 3 Beldum. That is a line. And that's exactly what he's going to do. That feels shocking, to say the least, because we don't really play any recovery. Oh boy. Well, I mean, you know, Mama didn't raise no quitter, as the old saying goes. I'm just going to Lillies, because I have no use for these Metangs now. Yeah, I'm just going to Lillies. That's all I can really do. Okay, I think there was another Beldum left in the deck. No, there isn't. And yeah, we don't really play any, like, Pokemon recovery, so we've effectively just been shut out of the game here. I mean, I can evolve still, but we're going to be playing the hand attach game, which, first of all, I'm going to Metallic Signal just to do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Academy at Night. I'm going to put the Lillies on top of the deck, just in case. And then we'll just Energize Slap for 80. Because that's all I can really do here. Whiffing the knockout is kind of painful. Because if he's playing Dark Energy, I suspect you're playing Crispin. Which would suck if you do. But, hey, I can't stop it, you know. But yeah, I kind of had a feeling he would go for that line, to be honest. Like, go for the triple Beldum. It makes sense, because, you know, you're cutting off my, energy acceleration by a 100 mile. So, you know, it's unfortunate, but these things happen, I'm afraid. But, I mean, we could try and rely on Cinccino here, but the problem is he can just go Curum the Genesect and the Minccino, and then he could just cure him the Genesect again, and he takes his last 3 prize cards. So, unless I can get that Minccino evolved, we're not in a good spot. I mean, we're losing this game anyway, I'm not lying, but, you know, I'm not going to lie about it, but, yeah, this is shocking, because, you know, we've got no energy acceleration, we wasn't even able to take out the Slowking, so, yeah. It's not looking very good, as the old thing goes. So obviously if I knock this out, he just goes into Kang, draws cards with Kang, and then, you know, he can set up. And I think Annihilate goes through this, because it's effect of an attack, not damage. So he could just annihilate the Cinccino. I'll be very surprised if my opponent, like, concedes from this point, because, you know, he has a huge advantage. Okay, he's going to attach the Slowking. And he passes. Okay, well we can at least get an energy on the Cinccino at the very least. So we can do that, and then we can Lillies. Alright. Not much going on here. I can bump his Stadium, it doesn't really matter. And then I'll just Energize Slap for the knockout. Yeah, this is shocking. I'm playing it out because there is a world in which I come back from this, and getting the red card is really nice. There is a world in which I do come back from this, but it is looking like a very slim world, to say the least. Obviously, red card only gets us so far, because obviously you can just keep Kang drawing. But, you know, we're going to need at least... Well, how many times are we going to have to hit this Kang? So we're doing 120 right now. We can attach again and do 160. So we could actually take out the Kang eventually, but yeah. Considering he's going for a Cypher Maniac before he's Kanged, I think he knows what he's doing. Because he can just go for, you know, Wondrous Patch, Night Stretcher, grab back this, and just nuke me. So, yeah, it's looking like curtains from here, unfortunately. But, you know, he could have potentially just gone for both Minccino, and then I'd just be swinging with Genesect. But, you know, like I say, man can dream, but not in this matchup. Well, there's the Stadium. He obviously needed that as well. There's Slowking. Do you have an energy? Plus, say, recovery card. Pokepad, that'll do it if you play 2 Annihilate, which I doubt you do. Nope, he's just going to cure him, it looks like. Makes sense, you know, he's got that line. There's Telepathic. He can also grab Clefairy as an extra attacker if he wants. That is a line as well. Nope, he's just going to fail it. That's fair enough. But yeah, this is horrible. I'm not expecting to win this. I mean, he's just going to put a Cure on top of the deck and just go bam, bam, bam. But obviously, there is a world in which the Cinccino survives it. But, well, like I say, you can just hit these two. So, you know. It does it automatically for him, so, you know. And we actually stopped the damage with the Cinccino. Which is not relevant, because, well, Genesect can't evolve. So you can just do it again, or just boss the Genesect if he plays boss. Or Spectria if he plays Spectria. So that's another option for him. Okay, well, we're not benching anything else. We're just going to special red card. We're just going to attach the Cinccino. I kind of want to bump his Stadium now. Oh, okay, I don't have another Stadium. Didn't think I did. In that case, I'll just grab Boss and then Energize Slap. Yeah, we can't really do much here, but we are still, you know, doing stuff. We're not just sitting here twiddling our thumbs. There's my Beldum out the prize cards, but we can't bench it. I mean, we technically could, but we're just giving him an easier prize map later, so, you know. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. I mean, on the plus side, if he doesn't get another Slowpoke down, we could potentially boss the Slowpoke. You know, our hand attachments are, you know, they are helping. You know, we're getting to 200 damage next turn. But, yeah, this is not looking good. I can't pick this Genesect up, which is what I'd want to do. Well, there's Telepathic. He could thin the deck, but I don't think he has to. All he needs is a recovery card plus Slowking. And he has game. And yeah, there's another Slowpoke. However, if he doesn't attack this turn with this and he just leaves it a Slowpoke, I can bot it. So, you know, there is a world in which we come back from this. It's not a very big world, but, you know, there's Slowking. Ultra Ball. You got a Conkeldurr, maybe? Conkeldurr? Maybe? I don't know. Or Spectria, if you play it. Because some are playing Spectria to counter Shaman. I don't know if he's playing it, though. The Monkey Door is interesting, though. He's grabbing Fez, so he's obviously digging. But that is another 2-prize liability for him. Flip the script. He just needs a Night Stretcher. And then he wins, because he can just go cure him with a Genesect. But yeah, I'm not expecting to win this game. It would be a miracle if we win this game. Pokepads, Conkeldurr, Metagross, yeah, that works. Metagross definitely works, but if you get a heads, you do no damage. So we're preying on a coin flip here. But yeah, I think this is just curtains. Can it be at night? Put the Metagross on top. And yeah, I think this is curtains. Unless Cinccino decides to play ball and flip a heads, we are losing here. This is game. Let's find out. Seek inspiration. Wait, what are you doing? You do realize you've just shuffled the deck, right? You've just shuffled the deck. So now your Pokemon is not on the top of the deck. You do realize that. That was a massive misplay. Okay. I mean, maybe he misclicked? I don't know. Maybe he meant to play another supporter, but now you just have to hope Seek Inspiration hits you something. Because at the minute, you can't do nothing. You've just massively misplayed there. You could have took game here, because I know for a fact you had a Kyurem in your hand. Well, you not Kyurem, Annihilate and or Conkeldurr. You could have done that. Well, not Conkeldurr, the Metagross. He could have done that. I think he's just realised that, because he's just massively misplayed here. Has he rage quit? He's rage quit! He's rage quit! Wow. I can't bump his stadium, but wow. How did you manage that? Genuinely, how did you manage that? I think he's rage quit. There's no way we're winning this game, right? So it's 200 damage, 240 next turn with the hand attach, because we're finding our hand attachments, but, you know, there's no way I'm winning this, right? Has he seriously rage quit after that? Wow. Why did you play the Lillies? You know, you have all this fancy art, you look like a decent player. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. If he has rage quit, I'll cut to the outro, because I'm probably going to be sat here for a minute or two. And yeah, he rage quit after that. I'm really surprised. We had no business winning that game. Genuinely no business. We should not have won that game. I'm just as shocked as you guys probably are. That is insane that we won that. I'm actually gobsmacked that we won that. Like, yeah, his Lillies was a misplay, but like, you were still massively ahead. Unless you like prized a bunch of Wondrous Patch, you know, like, you still had a win con, you know, like. Some Slowking decks have even been playing Blood Moon. You could have gone into Blood Moon if you had it, you know? I genuinely just... I'm shocked that we won that game. So, what did I think to the deck? To say that originally at the start of this video, I said that I think this is not as good as the Meganium version, I'm going to have to take that back, because, well, it makes sense, doesn't it? But, you know, when you think about it, like, you know, the Yanmega version being, you know, a bit more consistent with its attackers and obviously a bit more consistent of an engine, you can kind of understand where I'm coming from on that. But don't sleep on this version. I think with a few changes and a second Genesect, this version would be beastly. Fair enough, we didn't prize our Genesect in any of the games, but I think playing 2 is just a safe, you know, like, run and everything. In terms of other attackers, I do think the Dialga, I can't remember what set it's from though, There's a single prize Dialga with the attack Chrono Burst. Does 80 plus 80 if you shuffle it back into, well, shuffle the energy back into the deck. Could be a nice counter for, you know, the amount of Mega Frostlass, and also, you know, Lille's Clefairy in the format as a nice single prize option. Other than that, really, it's a Metang box, you know, there's not much to it, but that's my case, and that's just the way I thought about it. But honestly, I really think you should give this deck a go. Add a second Genesect, though, just to, you know, like, play it safe. But other than that, this deck felt really good. Anyway, I'm going to leave you a tip for today. I really hope you enjoyed seeing Cinccino EX with Metang, and I'll see you next time.